My name is Jill Cox Cordova, and I've been married to Anthony, or Tony as I call him. It'll be 17 years on April 29th.
How about that?
How about that?
Can you believe it?
I can.
My
I
gosh.
can, actually.
And I am Anthony Cordova, Jill's husband. And, our thing now is we're on Fireside Chat, and we have several shows there. One is I'm Right, which is the strongest show. That's our original show. We've been doing that probably, 5-6 years now, Jill?
5 years.
And yeah, started as a podcast, but now it's a vodcast. And it's doing well on that new platform. I also have another show called Poetic People Fighting Racism. And even though it has racism in the title, the show is really all about love and how we interact with each other. And then Jill has another show.
That I call Weight With Me because I have struggled with my weight, especially since COVID. And I just thought I would try something, do something different. And for me, that was, what if I told everyone every single week what my triumphs and my struggles with my weight loss journey, and weigh myself in front of people. And I can't hold myself any more accountable than that.
No. But then we have some things in the future. I have another show that's going to start in April 4th. And that one is called The Soul Reader. And I am a natural born psychic empath. And I'm going to be doing that show to try to help people heal.
And whatever we do one show where we host it together, but the ones that we host solo, the other person is the producer.
Yeah, and that works for us.
That does.
And even though we're married and some people
And he said
fight,
he would never, ever work with me. And look, he has me working with him every single week.
And it works out now because I do defer to her with her
with my
expertise.
strengths. And I defer to him with his expertise.
Yeah.
So we figured out that we have skills that complement each other.
Yeah, and which is wonderful. And we're able to brainstorm very well together. I think that's one of our...
quick.
I think that's one of our strongest abilities. We're able to do that so quickly. It's amazing to me.
To me too.
Really.
To me too.
Very nice.
In the morning when I get up, I wish that we could stop and take each day. In the evening when I get home, always hope to find you all alone and out of harm's way. Every time I look around, I hope to find you looking back at me. You're everything I ever hope to see. In the morning when I get up, I wish that we could stop and take each day. In the evening when I get home, always hope to find you all alone and out of harm's way. Every time I look around, I hope to find you looking back at me. You're everything I ever hope to see. In the morning when I get up, I wish that we could stop. I wish that we could stop.
My style, I think, I'll say in the earlier years, my style was more of a straightforward, emotionally charged style, like, versus Sean's is from a standpoint of, let's gather all the information, let's see, cause and effect versus, reacting off of just like, face value emotion, which, again, goes back to the communication thing. That made me a much better communicator, because when you sit back and you gather all the information, then you address the situation based off of what you know, not how you feel. You gain more ground that way. I've found over the 26 years implementing that in one-on-one with me and Sean, and using those same tactics with the kids, especially with kids, but relationship-wise too, because you can't always take everything for face value. You got to figure out, what were you thinking, what were you feeling that caused you to either say that or do that. What did I add? What did I do to make you? Because obviously in a relationship, when you feed off of each other, you got two different personalities, so you got to really kind of figure out, what part did I play? So in my style was, I learned quickly that my style was kind of broken. Now I wouldn't say 100%, but just gathering information. And well, now I'm thinking about it, I kind of use Sean's style more than mine, because of that, because it makes more sense to just to sit down and kind of collect all the information before you draw conclusions or you have a reaction.
At the end of the day, we have to learn, these things. And sometimes as things happens is when we have to straighten ourselves out. None of us are perfect. So we got to check ourselves, and we got to try to be better and practice
every
better.
day.
Because it's not, we're not trying to change each other, but we can change habits.
You're
right. That's right.
Absolutely.
And try to be consistent with that.
And especially taking into consideration, you keep mentioning past things, past relationships.
That's
I think there was a song Music Soul Child put out called Previous Cats. Okay. I can't, and I've told her this over the years, and I mentioned that because that's one of our theme albums. That album kind of defines our relationship. But I cannot be responsible for the things that you experienced before me.
Absolutely.
And if we bring those things into our relationship, we are doomed to fail.
And that's why a lot of people do fail, because they don't learn to get rid of those old traits, old thinking. You have to really come in it with a different mindset, and say, what, I got to think about this different. I can't go into thinking that, all men are this, or, or all women are this. We have to kind of say, what, this person, I have to treat this man as an individual and see him for who he is and what he brings to the table and what we bring to the table together. And so I think that's why when you ask a question about relationships now with younger people, it's the selfishness. You know, our children, and I say our children, we all have children in their 20s, late teens, and they have to learn to come out of this selfishness, because the culture is teaching them just to be, it's me. You know, look at me. You know, it's about me.
Yeah.
No, it's about us. You know, and sometimes we have to, and I know we all gonna always struggle with some selfishness, because that's just who we are as humans. But we have to, for a relationship to work, we have to come out of, it's just me.
Because I respect myself, and respecting myself is also respecting him.
Absolutely.
So I try to make sure that I'm not, because there'll be, you know, there's times where I feel like he might not be fair to himself.
Yeah.
You know, and it makes me upset. And I'm like, what are you thinking? Why are you not there? But, you know, I try to just take a deep breath and then talk to him about it, you know, because I'm like, you know, and then I'm like, well, he really bothers me as if it's happening to me. But it's like I want to protect him too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, I can't think of an instance like there's no words. There's nothing that she's ever said like words. Like we're very careful in that regard, you know.
Did y'all learn that from your previous relationship?
I think in both of us is who we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just who we are as people.
Yeah, everyone is different.
Yeah.
So because he's who he is, that doesn't come out of me. Now, look, I'm a Jersey girl. I know what it means to be from New York.
Yeah.
So I'm from New Jersey, so we got a little firecracker
It's
in
what
us.
it is.
We got a little firecracker in us.
But have you learned over the years in relationships kind of to tame it down a little bit?
Absolutely. Let me tell you something. I was listening to Wendy Williams, I believe it was. This was way back. I was just listening to her show, and she was talking about, no, it wasn't Wendy Williams. It was the Breakfast Club or something like that. But anyway, they were talking about submission. And what did that mean to women?
Right.
And then what did that mean to men, or whatever, however the conversation went. And the women that was calling in, they took offense to the word period. Now here's the thing. I grew up in church.
Right.
So the word submission is not something that makes me feel appalled or makes me feel like, you know, when you understand that you have a man that's going to want to protect you and that's going to want the best for you and your children, then submitting to him is not hard for me. And in return, he also submits as well. So it's, people were looking at it just one way. Oh, just the woman submitting and just doing whatever he's saying or whatever. And you got men that's leading women in a wrong path. That's when you don't submit. But when you could trust them with your life, then
girl,
you're not. It's not harmful, you know. And he does it back in return, and it doesn't make him weak. Either. You just respecting each other and you giving each other back what each other is given, and that's really all it is. People make it a little bit more than what it is, and I'm sure, you know, people will beg to differ, but I hope with me explaining it this way that they will understand that it's not in a negative way unless people are making it that way. Passionate affection equals connection.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. That's dope. Passionate affection equals connection. What is that? Tell me, what does that mean to you?
I feel like a person should be passionate about what they're doing, who they're doing things with, and when you're passionate about the things that you're excited about or that you're into, you're automatically drawing in connection. So let's just say, for example, you enjoy sports. You may love football. You may watch football games during the football season. You may have a favorite team. Say, you know, if your favorite team is, well, we live in Charlotte, so the Panthers. You go to a football game and you're excited about maybe the team is winning or whatever, but you have other people around you that you don't know. But guess what? You all have something in common. You all are Panther fans. So with that being said, if one is celebrating a goal or touchdown, more than likely everyone else who was there for that team are celebrating too. Well, guess what? You all are connected. So just as passionate you are about that football team, if you have a partner, why not be passionate about your partner? Because when you're passionate about that person, that's automatically going to draw you two together and create connection.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to create like a bond, like a connection bond. And in a sense of like, I mean, who doesn't get excited about their person being excited for them, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like when I come home, when I've been away and you like get up and you're excited, you smile and you're like super happy and we like hug, like that feels great. It feels, and another thing about it is it makes you feel wanted. And I think that's another thing that is missed sometimes in relationships, that people forget that your person also wants to feel wanted, and that goes beyond desire. That just means general, like you want to be in my presence, and if you're passionate, you're going to be that way, and all the things that you do that excite me, and all the things that your person does, excuse me, all the things that your person does should excite you, and you should get excited about them, and you should, be running towards them at all times, right? Instead of receding or withdrawing away, because then in that way you're not staying connected.
She came out on the deck, walked right past me. I'm, hey, hi, Jill. Hey. No, didn't see me. Turned around, went back the other way. I followed her in the house. I said, hey, Jill, I'm right. No, she did not see me. Okay? Here's the deal. If she hadn't told me that she sleptwalked, I would have been out. Hey,
Yeah.
Nope, this one ain't right either. I'm out. I ain't doing this again. Ain't no way I'm gonna do this. So, communication.
Yeah.
If we didn't have that communication, I would have ruined.
What could have been?
That's right.
Absolutely.
I would have ruined it because I was so afraid of going through that again. So again, because of communication, simple. I mean, it's so easy. It doesn't cost anything. That saved our relationship.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that.
You're welcome.
I think that's gonna really help a lot of people, with like understanding that there's some things that happens in a relationship and it's not perfect, but like you said, you just communicate and then you work through it. You don't just give up. So that's awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Great.
Yeah, that was great. That was great.
You're welcome. Can I add something to that?
Sure. Yeah, of course.
So there's one other thing I did, and this was totally on me to make sure we had a good relationship and communication. Early on in our relationship, I said earlier that I'm a psychic empath. I kept it a secret for many years. My first wife, to this day, doesn't know I can do that. I never told her because I was afraid if I told her, it would scare her away. But I had to make a promise to myself. The next time I'm really serious about a person, I have to tell them. If it scares them away, okay, so be it. That's not the person for you. So one night I did. I told her, and I used to put it like this. I said, Jill, I have some special gifts, and I just know stuff about people. I just do. So what do you mean? Well, I'll tell you all about yourself. and I did, and I was right on point, right on point about everything. But it didn't scare her away.
No, I was fascinated. Like, oh, how did you do that? Tell me more. What else do you know about me? You know, so I was fascinated.
So, and that's the other thing, communication, honesty. You know, don't hide who you are. That's what's special about you, who you are. If a person can't accept your flaws, the positive things about you, if they can't accept it all, that might not be the person for you. That's not the person you can be who you truly are. You don't have to hide from them. And living a life hiding is insane.
No. And, you know, I always feel that when you know you're in a good relationship, it's not that I don't think anyone should strive for perfection because that doesn't exist. But I do think that you're in a great relationship when you enhance each other's lives, you know, and boost each other's lives. Mm-hmm. And so when you can do that while you're being yourself, obviously, then that's great. That's a great feeling.
Absolutely. Well, can I ask, since you have this gift, are you willing to shed a little bit of it on Aaron and I?
Well, yes. However, I know both of you already.
So it's usually from someone that you don't really know, or?
Yes, that's better because, you know, a person can say, oh, well, you know them. You know them. Yeah. But I will try to do something. So we all were on a photo shoot earlier today. And one of the first things I said to both of you was, I am so happy that both of you got together. Why would I be so happy? You know, why? Why am I so happy? Well, the reason is that both of you have an energy, but when I say this, I'm not saying that you all are perfect, but it's a pure energy. It's pure and it's kind and it's loving. It's very rare that you find two people like that to get together. Okay, so like with you, Sophie, you, like I said, it's a pure energy and you're kind, but you're not too kind. You know what I mean? You're not kind to a fault. When something needs to be said to a person that is probably true, you're going to say it. You're not going to hold back. You're going to say, hey, yo, this ain't right. Don't be doing this, blah, 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 whatever it is. That's what you're going to do, okay? Which is great, especially because you're with Aaron. Aaron might say, same situation, Aaron might say, shoot, I ain't got time for that. And he'll just let it roll. I'm not saying one way is right or wrong because you're two different people. But in your relationship, that's what makes y'all great. The point that you are different. Your energies are kind of the same, but you are different because sometimes it needs to run the way Aaron says. You know what? Leave that alone. Don't give them that energy. Don't do it. But then there's other times you, Sophie, do need to say something and speak up, and you do. And the both of you know this. See, that's the good thing. The both of you know this. Aaron be like, oh yeah, that's Sophie stuff. You can let her handle that. let her handle that because she will do that. For you, Sophie, it's not as easy to say, oh, I'm gonna let Aaron handle this. Because in your mind, you're like, I gotta say something. I got to get this out. I got to. He just wants to let it roll off. But some situations are that way. Some situations is not worth the time. It's not worth getting into. Just let it go. It don't matter for us, you know. So that's kind of is with you two, and with energy that both of you have. Nothing but good stuff comes from that. The way you approach people, the way you interact, all of this, nothing but good stuff. Because both of you are being who you are. Aaron is a little more reserved. Sophie's a little more outgoing. It's good. But then at the same time, you want the same things. The same things. So that's as far as I'll go on that. I hope I was on point.
Oh, you was scary. Because sometimes I'm like, you're just not gonna say nothing. They gotta say something because this ain't right. They gotta know that they're not being right. So I'm like, yeah. and Aaron would say, let's just let it happen. I'm like, but they need to know. Yeah, that was great.